My name is Robbyn Anand, and I'm an associate professor of chemistry here at Iowa State University. My lab does research in bioanalytical methods. We develop diagnostic devices and techniques, as well as separation methods for sample preparation. Our main lab is here in Hawk Hall, where we have 4 different laboratory rooms, as well as Gilman Hall, in which we have 2 different lab spaces. My lab also works in the Keck microfabrication facility, which is a facility that I oversee. Since my lab works a lot with microfluidic devices that need to be ultra clean, we use a lot of solvents for cleaning those surfaces, as well as strong acids and bases to make sure that we are able to decontaminate surfaces. In addition to that, we do biological research where we work sometimes with clinical samples as well as human cell lines. And so we create biohazardous waste that you would expect to find in a BSL-2 facility. So our lab has to do several different steps to make sure that we're properly managing hazardous waste. First of all, we keep a record of all of the waste and separate it by class. And then we make sure that all of those waste containers are large enough in volume to handle the amount of waste that we have, and that they're capped and kept in secondary containment. I also make sure that my students fill out the waste tag form completely so that we know exactly what's in those containers. We have to use the full names. We get used to sometimes using abbreviations in the lab, but we want to make sure that in an emergency situation, it'd be very clear what the contents of the container are. My lab also generates some biohazardous waste. We segregate those depending on the waste type, whether they're sharp or not. And we also follow EH&S policies to make sure that they're properly decontaminated before they're disposed of. When I need to communicate waste-related issues with my group, the first and most important piece is making sure it's communicated promptly and that everyone hears about it. So I usually do that through 2 channels. One is we have a group Slack channel where I can send out a message to everyone, but also we have a weekly group meeting, and that's a really great time to talk with everyone in person to make sure that everyone's on the same page. An important best practice for our lab in terms of waste management is making sure that we onboard new students appropriately. So they receive both general training about waste and waste disposal, as well as specific safety training for our lab. There are certain classes of waste that we generate that would be a lot more dangerous to mix inappropriately. So we make sure that they're trained, as well as they sign a document to keep a record that they've been trained. EH&S offers a lot of resources that help students as well as lab managers and advisors to get oriented when it comes to waste. One of the most useful things for me has been the online training, which I think EH&S has put a lot of work into making engaging. There are also posters that are a quick reference point for students to be able to check the different waste classes and make sure that they're handling them appropriately on a day-to-day basis. As a research advisor, laboratory safety and waste management are important to me because I want the lab culture to be one where everyone can focus on research and not have to worry about being in an unsafe environment.